14 national championships shared between Stanford and Long Beach State. This will be their first matchup this decade. Inside the Walter Pyramid, it is the Cardinal and the Beach on ESPN+. And we welcome you courtside. This is the first match of the 2025 season for Long Beach State High. I'm Matt Brown, and it's great to be alongside with you all season long. Stanford has already played a couple of matches. They are 1-1 coming into this one. We'll talk about how tough their opponents were in that first weekend a little later. For Long Beach State, they're coming in with some fresh faces, a whole new team to really learn about, and it's going to be exciting going forward. Let's take a look at some of the players to watch. First, for Stanford, they have a true freshman libero who has already gotten an ACC Defensive Player of the Week honor, also a Freshman of the Week honor, with 30 digs in her first 2 collegiate matches. For Maddie Maxwell, a stellar freshman season last year, a 2024 Big West All-Freshman selection, did have a double-double in a Big West Championship first-round matchup a year ago. Those are your Memorial Care players to watch. Starting lineups are being introduced inside the Walter Pyramid. This should be a fun way to start the year, as this is the Stanford lineup coming in. Remember, they have already played a couple of matches. Julia Blashaw, one of their outside hitters, alongside Lizzie Andrew in the middle. Ipar Kurt is a returning All-ACC pin hitter, with Erica Sayer, the other middle. Logan Parks will be an opposite and a setter in this matchup. We'll talk a lot about her throughout the night. Taylor Yu will be the other 6'2 setter. Spencer Etzler, our aforementioned player to watch, and their head coach, Kevin Hamley, who is back inside the Walter Pyramid for the first time since his first match ever coached as a Stanford Cardinal. Here is Long Beach State's starting lineup. Logan King will be the right side hitter alongside Rianne Sheffrey, one of the returners at the middle. Sydney Hamaker will be the other middle, and Maddie Maxwell will be a setter. Elise Agee returning to the starting lineup. She was injured all of last year. We'll talk more about that. Nico Thomas, a transfer. She will be the other middle. Izzy Mahaffey will be the libero, and Natalie Regan, in her second year, first as a full-time head coach, you could say. She was the interim last year, and we welcome her back, that is for sure. Also welcoming a new member to the all-around family. You saw Natalie Regan in the background there, but Coach Regan kind of deserves some special congratulations at the top of this broadcast, at the top of the season. Want to congratulate her and her husband Kevin, as they have a baby on the way, expecting their first child in January. She will be coaching throughout the year. She said she is expecting a big belly fall, and that will be a fun one for sure, as Maddie Maxwell will receive the first ball, and she is ready to get this one underway. Number 6 in the country, Stanford, facing Long Beach State. The Beach women's volleyball team's season opener. Service into the net, as Stanford will take the first point. Here's Spencer Etzler, true freshman from Coldwater, Ohio. Once again, the ACC Freshman of the Week. And Maxwell sets outside. That is dug up. Kurt blocked and roofed. This was a strength of Long Beach State a year ago, blocking defense, and they have some height coming in. Couple of new faces really to the floor. Logan King is a technical returner, but she redshirted last year. Nico Thomas, not a stranger to the Big West Conference, but comes to Long Beach State with a lot of experience nonetheless.
Too complicated for me.
That attack from Stanford hit the antenna before Long Beach State even touched it. So attacking error gives Long Beach State the lead. Just getting started here in the first set, best of 5. Always excited to get a new season of women's college volleyball going. Kurt through the block and down. Ipar Kurt, 6'2", redshirt sophomore from Istanbul, Turkey. She's going to be one of their key hitters. As Coach Kevin Hambley has said, he wants to try and utilize 3 outside hitters throughout the year. Kurt, definitely one of them. Here's Logan Parks. She was the right side hitter a rotation ago. Now rotates to the back row, serves into the net, and she will be the setter. It also means there was a substitution in the front row for Stanford. Jordan Harvey is the right side hitter for them. Anna Jelinek back to serve for Long Beach State. True freshman coming in as a serving specialist here. A good serve. To the middle, the attack from Lizzie Andrew dug up. Tipped over, opportunity for the Beach. Elisa Gee, and boy, has Long Beach State waited a long time, as well as Elisa Gee herself, to record that kill. Missed all of last season due to injury. Said that she really is grateful more than anything as she steps back into the starting lineup with that newfound perspective. Just being happy to be there, being excited to be out there having an opportunity, whether it's in the weight room, at practice, or just spending time with the team. She says every opportunity is one she's excited about. That's Elisa Gee. Number 24 in white, the outside hitter for Long Beach State. And all that information coming from a great preview. You go to the 562.org. Want to learn a little bit more on Long Beach State women's volleyball this season. Agee always had that quick snap on overpasses a couple of years ago. Outside, it's a block and roof. Sheffy, I think, got most of that. The 6'1" senior, Rianne Sheffy, yeah, she got all of it. And the stuff block, a big one for Long Beach State. Stuff blocks always momentum getters, and they already have a 4-point lead early against Stanford. Right side, it's Kurt. That's a block and roof. Agee and Sheffy. 2 players that are very key returners for Long Beach State. As Stanford will take the first time out. Long Beach State comes into this first timeout of the year, up by 5 over Stanford on ESPN+. Long Beach State up 7-2 in the first set over Stanford, number 6 in the country. This has been one of those home court advantage type of sets so far, where Long Beach State has just got those momentum type points, mostly from the stuff block. Right now, Long Beach State with 3 blocks in the young part of the match. Stanford yet to record their first block. Jelinek serves out long, and the timeout works, so to speak, from Kevin Hambley. It's always fun talking with head coach Hambley, as he has done such a great job over at Stanford, has been a 2-time national champion, and they have been able to reach the Elite 8, if you will, the regional final each of the last 3 seasons. And they are coming into this matchup with Long Beach State with complete respect of the program and the Walter Pyramid, the venue, as they are well aware of magic that can happen, especially on the season opener. He pointed out the time that Long Beach State defeated Texas, who were #1 in the country, coming off of the national championship a couple of seasons ago. And he says, we are well aware of that. We are not taking Long Beach State lightly. We never would, but even more so, added respect, maybe some added caution. They seem to be playing tight here in this first set. Long Beach State now up by 7. Brianne Sheffy with a great start to her 2025 season. Logan King with some good serves right now. Good dig, Mahavi. And Elisa Gee capitalizing over on to snap kill. Long Beach State has long had a tradition of great back row play. And that time, the front row was able to capitalize on it just on that second touch. And the tip works for Agee. 3 kills on 4 attempts. Elisa Gee has been maybe that missing link for Long Beach State. Yes, they were 19-11 overall a year ago, 12-6 in conference. They finished 4th in the standings. They were able to get a win in the Big West tournament at the end of the year. But of course, a lot of retooling. 9 seniors a year ago. And so 10 newcomers to this year's team, as Long Beach State will go into this timeout, the second and final timeout of the set for Stanford, up 13-3. And Elise Agee is just on fire right now. There's Natalie Regan. And also the new assistant coach, Naseri Tamanuval. 10 years between UC Irvine, Cal State Fullerton, and Concordia University Irvine. This is not only a new team, a fresh team, but a fresh coaching staff as well. Jordan Molina returns as one of the assistant coaches. Michael Ma joins as an assistant coach for Long Beach State. There's a look at Stanford. Already 1-1 this year. They were able to face number 16 Florida and number 1 Nebraska. But between these two programs, this history is storied, but is a little bit more abbreviated than you may think. Yes, they're both located in California, but maybe that north to south factor has been
not so much the Brooklyn.
The reason why these two haven't met up more. The program history between these two have shown that, well, it's been quite a while since the last time the Cardinal and the Beach matched up, especially here inside the Walter Pyramid. Logan King will go back to serve once again. Coming out of the timeout, Long Beach State up 10. In the middle, going straight down with it, Lizzie Andrew. Andrew averaging almost 1.5 kills per set as a middle blocker in her true freshman season a year ago. She had 363 throughout that season and serves it over in it. Agee with a lot of attack attempts gets another one. Looking for high hands, doesn't find any. And Stanford gets the natural point. So Stanford were able to beat Florida in 4 and got swept by Nebraska. Of course, Nebraska number 1 in the country. So as tough of an opponent as any. But you know that this proud Stanford program, and they are ranked number 6 in the country, they think they have, or they believe they have, what it takes to contend for a title here in 2025. A key serve goes into the net following a side out. And the 6-2 sub goes through for Stanford. Back to serve Taylor Yu. She started the match as the back row setter. That also means that Logan Parks is in the front row as a hitter now, as Logan King gets the kill from the back row on the right side. Logan King, a redshirt freshman, from Ontario, Canada. And King is looking for a breakout redshirt freshman season. Coach Natalie Regan definitely believes she has the ability to do so. Outside it goes, Blashov. Down the line, caught some fingertips as well. Julia Blashov with her first kill of the night so far. Used that outside hand, just caught the edge of it. Maddie Maxwell's block attempt, and now Blashov to serve. Maxwell working as the 5-1 setter, by the way. Have to be careful because she's able to put it over on two in the front row, but that time just set it right to her middle blocker, Nico Thomas. See how dangerous this can be? A slight hesitation from Ipar Kurt. Committed a little bit more to the middle, allowed for that outside portion to be hit through. And Nico Thomas with another attack attempt. That one goes out long. Just kind of looking for a touch. And a touch is called. Not sure exactly which referee on the floor made that call. I did see Kylie Kimura suggest the touch, as she will now go to the challenge review system. The first challenge inside the Walter Pyramid for women's volleyball in 2025 commences. Kylie Kimura, the R2, Troy Gravitz, the R1, Patrick Bradley, and Ayana Coleman, the Lions judges here tonight. Here's Kevin Handley. I don't think we had challenges the last time he coached inside the Walter Pyramid. That was his first ever Stanford Cardinal match 9 years ago. Hard to believe, as he has gone through such an illustrious head coaching career. Of course, was at Illinois before coming to Stanford. Can't really tell if there is a touch there. If anything, there was no touch. Nico Thomas was pretty adamant right away that there was a touch. This may be a better angle. Doesn't look like there were any fingertips on that ball, and Kylie Kimura agrees that that was out of bounds. So, challenge successful. Stanford takes the point. It is now 8-16. Still a good lead for Long Beach State in the first set. Tougher pass. That's Sydney Hammaker. Oh, going down the line, I think Stanford and Ipar Kurt reading that Logan King, giving her a good amount of space down that line, and was able to take advantage. Good initial dig, by the way, by Spencer Etzler for Stanford. And that serve goes long. Any opportunity to trade points, Long Beach State will take it in this first set. Any set victory over a ranked team, Long Beach State will take it here in the season opener. Of course, they have immense belief in this young squad. So does Stanford. In this young setter opposite hybrid, old school 6-2, if you will. Logan Parks back to serve, following her kill on the right side. Jump spin serve and a good one. Better pass. And King on that quick back set gets dug up. Opportunity again for the Beach. Backside, it's King. That's popped up by Etzler. And the kill put away. Ipar Kurt. Mappy there, but just unable to pop it up cleanly. McGee down the line. Elisa Gee has been so successful at that line shot throughout her career. Came to Long Beach State for more opportunities in the front row, and she has them. Anna Jelinek back in to serve. 5'9" true freshman from Lincoln, Nebraska. Right side, Kurt tips it. Rally moves forward. Park sets Kurt again on the right side. That is out of bounds. Long Beach State able to take that block back and recycle it successfully. Stanford has 6 kills and 6 attacking errors so far. Triple zeros on that hitting percentage. Long Beach State hitting .316. That was the 4th service error so far for the Beach. 3 service errors for Stanford, so pretty even in that category. Here in the first set. Ace! And the first ace of the evening. Ipar Kirk. 6'2" redshirt sophomore. 2024 second team all ACC selection. Oh, that ball just trickling over the net. Maddie Maxwell was able to recover and set up. Elisa Gee eventually just was able to get that first touch. Mahaffey, the libero, comes in with that bump set for Elisa Gee. And Gee leading everyone on the court with 6 kills already in the first set. Remember, it is pretty notable if someone averages 4 kills in a set. 6 is above and beyond. There's the first kill for Maddie Maxwell. Remember, she was a left side hitter for much of 2024. That was really her first time learning how to be a 6 rotation left side. And here in 2025, back to more of her natural position, a 5'1" setter. Free ball opportunity for the Beach. Good rally brewing here. Has to be the middle blocker, Andrew, to set up Jordan Harvey. Pancake save, Logan King. Good rally. That attack just goes long. Stanford wins a tough one. It's these longer rallies. If you've been following Long Beach State athletics throughout 2025, remember the last time we covered volleyball? It was men's volleyball. They ended up winning the national championship. But the women's game, just a little bit different, and in a good way as well, as that goes out of bounds wide off of Long Beach State. And a timeout called by Natalie Regan, just looking to reset her team. They are still up 6 here in the first set. Finishing sets is always something that head coaches are looking to develop throughout the year. Of course, Long Beach State has a tall task to finish a set in their first match of the year against such a tough opponent. There they are, Kevin Hambley and Stanford. Hambley, 2-time Pac-12 Coach of the Year, but remember, they are back in the ACC. This is their second season in the ACC. And in talking with him, he has said that people ask him, oh, how is it like to travel more now that you're in the ACC? And he says, the travel isn't more. We're still traveling the same amount of games. It's just the length of travel is longer. And those time zones, the time changes in travel is different and something they had to adjust to last season. And one of the changes they made, one of the focuses they had last year was to kind of just forget about, or maybe be more relaxed on schedule, less strict on that, trying to get up early again. No, he says, we just let our players sleep in more, take those naps, because sleep is so important for athletes nowadays, and that adjustment, said, was a very positive one, and he talked to a lot of sleep specialists to make the proper adjustment, and I'm sure they will continue that moving forward as an ACC member. Here we go out of the timeout. Long Beach State with Rian Sheffy getting popped up, and a free ball over. Another opportunity for Long Beach State and Sheffy again. Rian Sheffy hadn't played more than 2 matches in a season coming into this year, and now gets the start in this 2025 senior season. Rian Sheffy has always brought that leadership and energy to this program. Really the veteran presence here for this Beach squad, and is as important as any member on the team as we go to the Stanford side and Taylor you back in to serve and set. That serve goes long, trading service errors to the disadvantage of Stanford here in the first set. Long Beach State a couple of points away, taking the first set of 2025. Here's Matthew with a good serve. Good dig, Elisa Gee. Hammaker off the block, out of bounds, and Long Beach State has set point. Capacity crowd here inside the Walter Pyramid. Collegiate athletics is back. Women's volleyball is back. Logan Parks. Good combination play coming in the middle that time, as she is normally on the right side hitting in the front row. See how they sent their middle blocker to the left side of your screen. Logan Parks coming down the middle. That is not where Long Beach State blockers are expecting her. That's why she had a pretty wide open net. Tight to the net. Maddie Maxwell's a front row setter. Locked back. Opportunity again for Stanford. Kirk tips it over. Here comes Long Beach State. Set point is popped up. Parks roll shots it over. Over on 2. Maddie Maxwell. Gonna be called for a lift violation. I believe that's what the official call was. Could be a double contact as well, actually, since the ball went over the net. Remember, you can't be called for a double contact violation if the ball stays on your side. But if it's going over the net, anything can be called. Either way, it's a violation called on Maxwell. Oh, it might have been a net violation. I might have seen the net move ever so slightly. Either way, Stanford point. Off the block, here comes Long Beach State, and Maxwell over on 2 again. Set one goes to the Beach. 25-18 over Stanford. Strap in. We may be in for a fun opening night inside the Walter Pyramid. Long Beach State up 1-0 on ESPN+. It's the reason why people are so excited for this matchup between Stanford and Long Beach State. Not just because these two are meeting up for the first time in over 5 years, but Stanford coming in as one of the nationally ranked teams, as this is a look at the ABCA preseason coaches poll. Stanford in that number 6 spot. They did face another nationally ranked team earlier this season in Florida, and then Nebraska over at the top of that poll. They were able to challenge Nebraska a little bit, but Nebraska ended up with the sweep. And this is that look of the ABCA coaches poll, at least the top teams so far. And here's a look at the Big West preseason coaches poll. This is where the coaches have kind of fit Long Beach State in that upper echelon. It is really tough to tell how this season will go. This will be the final year to have Hawaii and UC Davis in this poll, and it's going to be very interesting to see how these teams stack up as the season moves along, especially as Long Beach State has been off to a great start this season, winning the first set 25-18. Yes, Stanford, not with their, what you may say, their full starting lineup out on the floor. Haven't seen Elia Rubin yet in that first set. They played without her, and I think partly that's Kevin Hamley trying to figure out what he has in this team. This is a very strong outside hitter type of team, he has said. He wants to be able to use all three of his top outside hitters, those left side hitters, along with the rest of the squad, going with the 6-2. And as we kind of mentioned, Elia Rubin now makes an appearance in set number 2. So she will be number 13 right there on the left side of your screen. There's Elia Rubin, the 6'1" senior, one of the few senior leaders on this very young Stanford squad. So the adjustment made, and the adjustment paid off. Actually, the block back goes out of bounds. I almost thought that was a Stanford stuff block. Would have been their first block of the evening so far. Oh no, that definitely went the way of Long Beach State. Logan King with the first point of set number 2. Looking back at the first set, Long Beach State had their biggest advantage in hitting percentage. They hit 323 to Stanford's, well, flat line, triple zeros. King has to two-hand it over. Opportunity for Stanford. Logan Parks got blocked back. Not sure if this is going to be called an official stuff block for Long Beach State, but it works out like one. Long Beach State led the Big West Conference in blocks per set with 2.5 a year ago. One of really their many strengths, as they also led the Big West Conference with a 162 opponent hitting percentage. Right now, they've got Stanford in the negatives. Jelinek back to serve. Yu sets the middle. Erica Sayer, 6'2", true freshman from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Was a first-team high school All-American. Sayer able to record just her first kill of the night so far. Agi trying to go left-handed there, and it went out of bounds. Aggressive secondary set. Just went a little wide. Stanford with the 1-point advantage. Spencer Etzler back to serve. That ball out of bounds. Logan King, we can talk a little bit more about her, and she goes back to serve with 2 kills on 6 errorless swings so far. She's been playing with the U21 Canadian national team, and you are seeing why. A service ace for King. She was able to compete in the Norseka Pan Am Cup in July, the FIVB World Championships earlier this month. And Long Beach State is so excited to have her back for her redshirt freshman season. First time to really get on the floor and play in front of this Pyramid crowd. As Stanford is able to break her serve, Logan Parks goes back to serve for the Cardinal. Over onto that. Works for Maddie Maxwell. just from the eye test, you can just see more comfort from Maxwell in this position. It's the 5-1 setter. Of course, Long Beach State will meet up with their previous 5-1 setter in Zayna Meyer in less than a week. It'll be Monday when they face UCLA, as that is a kill for Elisa Gee. Little out of system, doesn't matter to her. Agee, though she didn't play all of last season with Long Beach State, she has been able to play at a high level within the past year, as that's a good dig by Mahaffey. Right side back row, Logan King. King already with her third kill. As we take a look back at that beautiful back set, see how open that double block is for King to take advantage of. But back to Elisa Gee with her jump spin serve. She was able to compete with the U.S. Women's National Team Open program in February, and you can see why she might have been a standout there. There's a service ace. Serving has been a strength for her throughout her career. When she was at Oregon, that was her specialty. Serves it into the net that time. Was able to record the third ace so far for Long Beach State in this match. Stanford just with one. And it was from this woman right here, E. Parker. Oh, able to catch a little bit in the back row. Logan King. Keep it in play. Sometimes it can work out. A little flatter swing. Probably looking for some hands. Did find some. Not in the expected place, though. Works out anyway. Good swing in the middle. It's Lizzie Andrew. 6'5" from Ridgefield, Washington. She was an all-ACC freshman team selection as Andrew goes back to serve. Outside, Hammaker blocked back, and it's a roof for the Cardinal. That's their first block of the night. A strong one. Park Kirk getting all of it. Oh, I should correct myself. That was Jordan Harvey getting all of it. It's more looking at the number, and there was a 5. Didn't see that there wasn't that one. Either way, Long Beach State able to get the side out. Haven't talked about Sydney Hammaker yet. 6'1" true freshman from Oswego, Illinois. Part of this exciting freshman class. Right side there is Harvey Long. Really just the difference in this match so far, the hitting percentage. Long Beach State hitting over 350 right now throughout the first set and parts of this second set. That will help Stanford's hitting percentage, going back to Elia Rubin. They were hitting .024 before this swing. Rubin, 3.93 kills per set, so almost 4 kills per set average last year. She had 283, her hitting percentage. And is just one of the special players that you'll find in the ACC. This could be a special player upcoming for Long Beach State, Sydney Hammaker. She goes back to serve. 3-time first team all-conference in high school to Oswego High School. As that's a good slide and a kill. Erica Sayer with kill number 2. 2 kills on 5 errorless swings so far. Rubin goes back to serve. Free ball opportunity for the Cardinal. Parks snaps it down. Logan Parks, true freshman, can get you 23 assists and 9 kills in the same match. That's what she did against number 16 Florida a weekend ago. That is long. No touch in the back row. Hammaker almost got it with her shoulder, maybe a little bit with the ponytail, but was able to avoid it all. Anna Jelinek back in to serve for Long Beach State. Good serve having Stanford to go to their right side in Parks. King blocked and roofed. Ipar Kurt combining with the middle blocker Erica Sayer. Seems like Kurt got all of it. Yeah, she did. Ipar Kurt had 40 blocks last year. Broke out in her redshirt freshman season. As Agee goes off of high hands. Stanford with Parks gets blocked back. They have to recycle to the other side. It's a free ball opportunity for the Beach. King gets dug up. Taylor Yu, the setter in the back row right now for Stanford. Maddie Maxwell just has to keep it alive. Another free ball opportunity for Stanford, and they take advantage. Lizzie Andrew showing that firepower in the middle. This is what Coach Kevin Hambley is excited about with both of his middle blockers. Says they have great arms, which is hard to find in 2 middle blockers. Even throughout the country, they have a couple of them. Roll shot, a tough get. King rolls it over. Ipar Kurt into the double block, and it's back down. King and Sheffy combining on the double block. That is block number 5 on the evening for the Beach. Float serve floats a little bit too much. Going back and forth here in this second set. Such an entertaining first match of the year inside the Walter Pyramid, as Long Beach State will hit 15 first here in set number 2. They're up by 2 here on ESPN+. Back here inside the Walter Pyramid, Matt Brown here on ESPN+. Glad you're with us for the season opener for Long Beach State women's volleyball. And they have been off to a great start. Up 1-0 over number 6 Stanford, and they are up in this second set 15-13 as Elise Agee tries to keep that serve in. Instead of going to the jump spin serve, she went with the jump float, probably to try and keep the ball in play, still unable to do so. And the timeout works for Stanford. Really easier said than done to have a competitive serve, high pressure serve out of a timeout, as Sydney Hammaker catching fire in this second set. Now with 4 kills on 7 swings, hitting well over 300. Matthew back to serve. And that one goes long. 10th service error for Long Beach State in the match so far. 7 for Stanford. First entry into the match for Coco Kirsch. 5'9" redshirt sophomore from Trabuco Canyon. And that's a good backslide and kill for Nico Thomas. You may remember Nico Thomas, the 6'2" senior transfer, when she was at CSUN earlier in her career. It wasn't last season. Last season she was with Abilene Christian in the Western Athletic Conference. And now she makes her return to the Big West in a big way, trying to be a big starter and a leader for Long Beach State this year. There's a block and roof. Elia Rubin combining with Erica Sayer on that double block for the Cardinal. Taylor Yu back in to serve and set. Thomas got a touch off the block and got Stanford off kilter in the back row, enough for another kill. Nico Thomas now with 3 kills on 4 swings. Hammaker back to serve once again for the Beach. Jump spin serve. Long Beach State does like to be as aggressive as possible, as that is able to go down for Stanford. The off speed works. And Elia Rubin will go back to serve. Ibar Kirk back in the front row. Rubin, the 2-time All-American. And a rotation violation on Long Beach State. Not sure if someone left too early or they were lined up incorrectly. Kylie Kimura seems to be pointing at Maddie Maxwell and Logan King. Rotation 2 can always be tricky, to be fair. That's where the setter is coming out of technical middle back. And there's always different ways to do that, as that is a block and roof for Stanford once again, as they have picked that portion of the stat sheet up here in the second set, and they have taken the lead 19-18 going into this timeout called by Natalie Regan. Back and forth we've gone here in this second set. Remember, Long Beach State won set number 1 25-18 in a set where they just didn't really relinquish any part of that lead. Almost, in a way, making Stanford kind of look shell-shocked, but you know that this is a Stanford team that can recover and basically take over at any time. Long Beach State, though, with so many fresh faces, so many names and people to learn about, and this being the first match, everyone is learning. Not just you and I, not just the fans in attendance, Long Beach or Stanford fans, not just the Long Beach State coaching staff, but the opponents. Not much of a scouting report for this Long Beach State team. The Beach does have a scouting report of recent to be available off of Stanford, because Stanford has played 2 matches. So maybe it's not that matter of rest or rust in this particular case. Maybe that just one team has seen the other play already, whether it was on tape or not. Free ball opportunity for the Cardinal. Kurt off the top of the block. Stanford hits 21st on a 4-0 scoring run, and the Cardinal have been able to utilize their outside hitter, Ipar Kurt, throughout the evening. That was her 13th swing, just her 4th kill. Substitution has been made, and there is that substitution. It's Annabelle Kotzikov having to get a dig in the back row as well. High free ball. The Cardinal with the backslide and a beauty. Erica Sayer. Timeout called by Long Beach State. That's their second and final of the set. Boy, tough to defend. Agui basically trying to get all the way out to the pin, and Sayer still able to fit it between her outside arm and the antenna with pace. 5-0 scoring run for Stanford as they have taken control of this second set, looking to get even in the match 1 set apiece. Going into that set 2 and 3 extended timeout, if you will. Long Beach State trying to recover, trying to reset, as this is one of those matches that just brings that extra energy. Yeah, it's a great matchup between historic women's volleyball programs, but it's just good to have women's volleyball back in the pyramid in 2025. Always great to just start off fresh in a new season. On the court, offensive leaders for Long Beach State, leading everybody really. Elisa Gee with 7 kills on 18 swings. Stanford have a couple of players with 4 kills, Ipar Kurt and Logan Parks. In this set alone, Stanford has been able to hit better. They're hitting 333 to Long Beach State's 273. Probably why they have the 3-point lead. Out of system, Agui still able to get good pace on that attack. Kurt puts it away. Stanford up by 4. Trying to close out this second set. Ipar Kurt just fitting it through that double block. Elio Rubin also on a great service run. Sort of capping it with this service ace. I know she's still going. But as Stanford is closing out this set, an ace this late is very big. Tight pass. Maddie Maxwell is a back row setter, so couldn't jump and try to joust. And Stanford gives it to Erica Sayer for the kill. And it is set point for the Cardinal. Their fans are up on their feet. Right side, it's Parks. That's down. I should say that was Logan King for Long Beach State. King with her 5th kill so far. And able to fit it around that outside arm of Kurt and still go seam with it. Initial dig by Jelinek kept in play. Stanford has to attack again. Kurt able to put it away. And with her 6th kill, Stanford takes set number 2. We are all tied up 1 set apiece. Going into the 3rd. Take a short break here on ESPN Plus and be back after this. Back here on ESPN Plus, Matt Brown. Glad you're with us on this Friday night. The season opener in the Walter Pyramid for Long Beach State women's volleyball. And they are tied in the match 1 set apiece with Stanford. As we look back at the first couple of set highlights, Long Beach State's block really came alive to start as they were able to record 4 blocks in that first set alone. They have 5 blocks in the match so far. That's how that set ended, with Maddie Maxwell calling her own number. She has 3 kills, 18 assists, as Stanford has been able to kind of recover after losing that first set. There's Sydney Hamaker, who had a good second set for Long Beach State, but there's the block coming alive for the Cardinal. Elia Rubin, who was on that block, didn't play the first set, played the second set, and was a big difference maker for them. Ipar Kurt able to end that second set with her 6th kill of the match. Kurt leads all Cardinal with 6 kills on 16 swings, though she's hitting .062. Long Beach State's offensive leader is Elisa Gee, 7 kills on 19 swings. She's hitting .263. You see how that first set really went the way of the beach, because they are still hitting better than Stanford in the match as a whole, though Stanford hit much better in the second set alone. 400 their hitting percentage in that second set compared to Long Beach State's 292. Other than that, the other statistics on your screen are pretty even. So Stanford is ready for that third set. I think they just made their lineup adjustment, going back to Elia Rubin on the left side. That made a pretty big difference for them, as they're, like Long Beach State, trying to figure out how this lineup can play throughout this 2025 season in that ever-tough ACC Women's Volleyball Conference that features the likes of Pittsburgh and others. Stanford is one of those proud programs that come from the old Pac-12 and have to kind of adjust to the ACC schedule. In fact, their ACC schedule is going to be as tough as any, but they were able to finish tied for second last year, as they were tied with the team that ultimately beat them in the NCAA Regional Final, Louisville. As Long Beach State has hit the court, and they're ready for set number 3. They made an adjustment late in that second set, but put it back to where it was before. Sydney Hamaker back on the floor to start this third set. And with the match tied at 1 set apiece, Maddie Maxwell to serve. Kurt blocked back. Recycle for Stanford. Throws it towards that back corner. Forces Long Beach State to send a free ball over. Over on 2 goes Yu. Thomas was ready for it. Got a hand on it. Kept it in play. Long Beach State looking for a touch call. They don't get it, and they might challenge. We'll see. They seem pretty confident there was a touch, but no challenge from Long Beach State's side. Let's see if we could see it on this replay. Tough to tell. Overpass, kept in play. Right side, Parks fires away. Logan Parks with her 5th kill. Parks, that 6-foot true freshman for Stanford that Coach Kevin Hambley just sees as a special athlete. As the Taylor Hughes serve goes long. This the all-important third set. Whoever can take this as that big advantage, try and finish the match in the 4th. Left-handed tip, and it works for Elisa Gee. Cooled off a bit in the second set. Remember, she had 6 kills in the first, just 1 in the second, and now starts off with the kill in the third. Trying to go down the line with that serve. Hammaker misses wide. Gives Stanford the side out. Parker goes back there for them. Three service aces for either side so far in the match. Hammaker able to wipe it off the block, and it hit the antenna. Stanford with the natural point. Stanford just looking to show how they can separate in a match like this. Long Beach State came out so hot in the first set. Now Stanford just trying to control the pace, control the match, and they seem to be doing so. The block is one of those ways you can control it. And they get their fifth of the match. Solid double block, Erica Sayer getting the most of it. That serve goes long. Substitution in the back row for Stanford, Anna Pringle, back row specialist for them. Also a switch in libero, by the way, for Long Beach State here in Anna Jelinek going back to serve. Oh, the block went back over the net. Was going to go on Long Beach State's side. And a net violation on the Cardinal gives Long Beach State the natural point. So the Beach utilizing that two libero system. Having Jelinek come in to serve here. Rubin having to go off speed. Jelinek now the secondary set. Joust at the net, won by Agee. That's just Agee's game. Elise Agee, when given the opportunity, won't really try to high point against a taller blocker. Just look to sneak it through, and she did so effectively. That is much harder to adjust to on the other side since your hands are already up, as Stanford gets the side out. Have that 1 point advantage thanks to this middle attack from Erica Sayer. Sayer had 7 kills on 15 swings against Florida last week. Has 4 right now. He could dig. Spencer Etzler, there's a good blocking roof for Long Beach State. Sheffy and King combining on that double block again. They're able to do this all season long. This may be a very effective duo in the front row. As King back to serve, misses long. Go back and forth here in set number 3. Long Beach State seeing the service error count rise up to 12. Stanford with 9. Here's Parks. King off the double block, and it's down. Logan King showing signs of a breakout redshirt freshman season. That is kill number 6 for her. Over on 2, Taylor Yu. How about you staying as the front row setter in this third set? Long Beach State caught off guard there. These adjustments from Stanford being put forth. And you're seeing the flexibility of this lineup. Coach Kevin Hambley was so excited about how he could utilize his young team this year. Right now having Logan Parks stay in the back row as an opposite. Could still be a hitter. You with the back slide and a good one. Lizzie Andrew putting it away. And a substitution here for Long Beach State. It's like a double sub. With Maddie Maxwell as a front row setter, they want to go back to a back row setter, and they bring back Maddie Collins, her season debut, along with Tatum Hoff. She will be the right side hitter in the front row now. Block and roof. Not sure if it actually touched the arm or hand of Lizzie Andrew, but she was there nonetheless. Collins and Hoff, both returners for Long Beach State. Overpass, you looking for the big swing. There's a good dig though, and a block and a roof. In the middle, Lizzie Andrew forces a timeout from Natalie Regan. Stanford showing their strength. And they go into this timeout up by 5 in set number 3. Coming out of the timeout, Stanford hitting the floor, and they have an exciting upcoming schedule so far. They play Oregon State tomorrow. We'll have to come out to the Walter Pyramid to see that, as that will be a fun one between a couple of former Pac-12 foes. And then they will be heading to Texas to play the Longhorns and then hop over to Missouri for a Tuesday matchup before heading back home. Pass goes awry out of the timeout. Works out like a service ace for Elia Rubin. The ability to reset, make just really one adjustment, and take control of the match. It's what Stanford is doing. 14-7 in this third set. An important one with the match tied at 1 set apiece. Elia Rubin last year had 34 service aces. Long Beach State brings back Logan King and Maddie Maxwell, so front row setter once again on the beach side. Oh, aggressive set to the outside. Secondary set from McGee to Hammaker, and it goes right to the Stanford double block, and a strong one. Block number 7 on the match for Stanford. They have taken the lead in that category. They have certainly taken the lead in the ace category. There's ace number 7 for Stanford as a team tonight. Elia Rubin has just dominated from the service line. She has 6 of those service aces for the Cardinal. Good cross-court swing. And Ifar Kurt keeps this serving run alive. .10-0 scoring run for Stanford. And that serve long. Long Beach State will take a breath, have a new server come in. Milani Lee, 5'10" sophomore, one of the returners for the Beach from Santa Clarita. Saw action in 6 matches a year ago. Did have a service ace. She serves here. Backslide off the block. Picked up Maxwell had to go a long way. It was actually Agee who took the secondary set. Stanford may want to challenge that ball didn't breach the net should they lose this rally. We'll see. Logan King from the back row had to pick it up. Stanford opportunity. That's down. An adjustment also in this third set alone for Stanford that has really proved dividends has been going from 6-2 to 5-1. See Taylor Yu getting that second ball. She's in the front row. She wasn't setting in the front row. Actually would be subbed out for a front row opposite in the first couple of sets of this match. Now a 5-1 setter in this third set. And you can see by the score, it was an effective adjustment. Maddie Maxwell back to serve for Long Beach State. Off speed, out of system, doesn't matter. T. Parker leads all Cardinal on the floor with 8 kills on that, her 21st swing of the evening. Good shoot across the net from Maxwell to Hammaker. Allowed for them to get that second opportunity, and the ball lands out of bounds. Long Beach State not sure about that, and they will challenge. So Natalie Regan challenging in out. Long Beach State in their first match 2025 for women's volleyball. Match that started out so well for them, they were able to really just take control of that first set. And Stanford, as after this match, they will face Oregon State to round out the tournament, the opening tournament of the season on Sunday. And we'll have that here on ESPN+. Then it's UCLA on Monday night before Long Beach State will head to San Francisco to play Portland State in a Battle by the Bay tournament. So they'll be on the road for a little bit before coming back home, and we'll have more matches all season long here on ESPN+. We'll be excited to bring you to that. From inside the Walter Pyramid. Call stayed with Stanford. And Logan King off the block. Natalie Regan also able to use that as a pseudo timeout. Have her team reset. Just focus on the first serve ahead. As Annabelle Kotzkov comes back in. Comes in to serve this time, and a good one. Kurt off-speed shot. Jelinek, secondary set to King, and there's a block and roof. Kurt and Sayer. Combining on the 8th team block of the night for the Cardinal. Right side, King, just one blocker up. She says no problem. 8 kills for Logan King. King getting that debut opportunity in her redshirt freshman season. And she is second on the team in the offensive categories against a nationally ranked opponent. Looking like a free ball opportunity for Long Beach State. King, tip, and it works. free ball might have landed out of bounds, but take it for safety. Be confident in your teammate to put it away. And Logan King did. Jelinek back to serve. Tight to the net there, and the point will go to Long Beach State. So the Beach just working their way back into this third set. If anything, getting some momentum going into a fourth set. And they'll need to win to force it to a fifth. Harks blocked and moved. And Sheffy taking this starter role in stride. Just a tight double block. No space for that ball between Elisa Gee and Rianne Sheffy. Good pass, a perfect pass, and a perfect middle set. Erica Sayer. 7 kills now. 6 kills now for Erica Sayer. Middle blocker on 12 errorless swings. She's hitting 500. Agee gets dug up. Joust at the net. Stanford able to recycle. Tipped. Agee tipping it off the block. Parks. Full swing, dug up. Right side, King. Oh, what a cross-court shot. That's not easy, going wrist away inside the 10. Logan King has really shown out with 9 kills so far in this match. Another swing, down the line, good dig, Spencer Etzler. Initial pop-up, Long Beach State trying to keep it alive. Stanford takes the point. In a set where Long Beach State has made a small run, tried to fight through it, Stanford has really kept control. And a set a little too wide, maybe a little too fast. That's the kind of system that Long Beach State has been installing throughout. It's kind of transition between Tyler Hildebrand and Natalie Regan. Just kept that quick system. Sometimes it can go like that. High ball this time, and Agee able to fit it off the block and down. It is still set point for Stanford. Sydney Hamaker comes back into the front row for Long Beach State, and Elisa Agee goes back to serve. Out of bounds, and Stanford goes up 2-1, looking to end this match in 4. Long Beach State looking to bounce back, send it to 5. But we'll see what happens in the 4th set on ESPN Plus after this. Stanford taking the 3rd set and up in this match 2-1 as the Cardinal face the ever tough ACC schedule. And these are some of the schedule highlights upcoming. First, they'll have to go to number 5 Texas, and then also Missouri, nationally ranked, before they'll head back to their own conference. They'll host Louisville in October and Pittsburgh in November. And that is just they really look to make some noise in the Big West Conference with a fresh team, fresh coaching staff in a way as well. And this team has already gone off to a good start. Yes, the last 2 sets haven't gone their way, as Stanford has been able to take control. But set number 1 went pretty handily to Long Beach State. Remember, they won that 25-18. Last 2 sets to Stanford, 25-19, 25-16. And the Cardinal, along with Ipar Kurt, is leading them in kills with 8. Look to close things out and get this 4th set going. Taylor Yu with a good serve, getting Long Beach State out of system. Doesn't matter to Elisa Gee. She takes back the match leading kills with 11. Gee will certainly be relied upon throughout this season. 5'11" senior transfer. One hand set, oh my goodness. One hand backslide set Taylor Yu to Erica Sayer. Here's Ipar Kurt back to serve for the Cardinal. Good back set to Logan King. That's popped up initially, but Nico Thomas there to get the overpass kill. Thomas with her 4th kill on that, her 7th attack attempt. And going with 2 hands for safety. Right side, Parks off the block and out. Hard swing from Logan Parks, who has pretty much taken over the opposite spot as Stanford has adjusted to a 5-1 system. Spencer Etzler to serve. Right side, King. King again. Gets the kill that time. Jelinek will go back to serve. Anna Jelinek, by the way, having pretty much taken over at the libero spot from set number 3 to now set number 4 as she goes back to serve. And a good swing out of the middle. Lizzie Andrew. Andrew's sister Alicia, by the way, is the starter for Baylor. Also a middle blocker. Sheffy called for a lift. I mean, if you hear it on the court, you could say that's a throw. Either way, violation called on Sheffy. Long Beach State fans disagree. Elisa Gee getting a little bit of an explanation. Troy Gravett having to make the call as the R1. We play on, and there is Annabelle Kotsakov, one of the transfers, newcomers on the team, 6'2" junior from Boise State. That is where she transferred from, but she's originally from Costa Mesa, so really more like returning to Southern California. Good dig by Elisa Gee. Over on 2, diving save by Parks to keep it alive. Yu with the kill. Taylor Yu, the 5-1 setter, having to take the full swing in that out-of-system ball caused by Maxwell. And sending it just short of Elisa Gee in the back row. Stanford with the 1-point advantage in the 4th set. Long Beach State needs this set to extend it to 5. Elia Rubin has gone on some great service runs so far in this match. Dangerous play at the net. Annabelle Kotzikov just trying to charge in and get a hard swing. Luckily, no one was hurt. This is the probably last part of the season a coach wants to see a big injury. The first match, at least on the Long Beach State side, it would be the third for Stanford. Either way, early in the season. You don't want to see anyone getting crucially injured. And joust works for Stanford. Ipar Kurt. 9th kill of the match for her. This is that service rotation for Stanford where they have just taken over sets tonight. Elia Rubin. The net trying to cause a little bit of chaos, and it does to work for Stanford. Taylor Yu pretty much taking advantage on the back end of that rally. Rubin to serve once again. Remember, they went on a 10-0 run last set in this rotation. That is out of bounds. Long Beach State will breathe. Annabelle Kotzikov back to serve. She was 3rd on Boise State's offense last year, the kill category. Averaged a little under 2.5 kills per set. Coco Kirsch comes back in for Stanford. Appears in a couple of sets in this match, appeared in a couple of sets against Florida. Kurt trying to go high hands, missed. Milani Lee back in to serve for Long Beach State. This is a rotation, not sure if this is what has been thought about at all, and really just remarking on what this rotation could be. Lee is a setter for Long Beach State if they want her to be a back row setter in this rotation, but probably not, because Logan King is on the right side in the back row there. Side out for Stanford on the backslide. Taylor Yu has done a great job adjusting to the 5-1 in the middle of this match. Gets a service ace. 8th ace, and that's really what turned this match around for Stanford, the serve and pass game. 8 aces in the match compared to Long Beach State's 3. Service error into the net. They do have 12 service errors compared to Long Beach State's 14, so not too much of a difference in that particular category as Maddie Maxwell goes back to serve. Into the net there. There's the 15th service error on Long Beach State's side. Ipar Kurt, who has been on Turkey's U21 national team. Agee off the block. Rubin off the block and out. Coach Hambley simply describes Elia Rubin as incredibly special, and she has proven that throughout her stellar career. 23rd player in program history with 1,000 kills. That serve goes into the net. And the back row substitution on Stanford's side goes through with Anna Pringle. And Elisa B goes back to serve Long Beach State. good set. And a good dig in the back row by Agee, keeping it alive and letting Stanford give Erica Sayer another attack attempting kill. Sayer now, the middle blocker, tied for the team leading kills with this her 9th of the match. Erica Sayer, a true freshman, has a bright future. And it's King showing her bright future throughout this match. She leads everybody on the floor with 12 kills tonight. Also, Logan King hitting over 300, a breakout night in what could be a breakout redshirt freshman season. Roll shot, had to be a diving save. King, full swing. Down ball, opportunity for Long Beach State, and Brianne Sheffy. It's rallies like those that Long Beach State has been able to win at times tonight. Well, we'll see, actually. As we take a look back at that swing, a great one from Sheffy. But we're going to have a challenge from Stanford. This represents that they are challenging a touch. It has been announced in arena that they're challenging Long Beach State touching the ball 4 times. Yes, there was that initial dig on the side of Long Beach State where 2 players went after the ball. And I think Stanford is saying that each of them touched it once, and then, of course, there was a set and attack. That would be 4 contacts. Not sure if there actually was. This could be tough to tell. Would be a bang-bang type of play. It wasn't an instant challenge from Stanford's players. Were just doubting it a little bit. Wouldn't be on this one. Would be a little later. So probably after this. Maybe not there. There is a different part in the rally. I think it's more at the beginning of the rally. Doesn't matter, as Kylie Kimura has said that there were no 4 touches along Beach State's side. Works out like a pseudo timeout for Stanford, though, as Long Beach State was feeling a little bit of momentum winning a long rally like that. Jelinek to serve, and a good one. Oh, what an aggressive secondary set. Strong rally. Free ball opportunity for Stanford. Off the block and out. No matter what, we have seen some good volleyball tonight. 5-point lead for Stanford as they hit 15 first. Take a break here on ESPN Plus. Bring you the finality of this great matchup. Back inside the Walter Pyramid, Matt Brown here on ESPN Plus. Stanford with a 2-1 lead here in the season opener for Long Beach State as they look to work their way back in to this 4th set. Cardinal up by 5. Logan Parks off to a great start in her young career. There's a lot being asked of Parks, and Coach Hambley knows it. but he says that she is well equipped to be both setter and hitter when called upon. So far in this matchup, Stanford has adjusted to her only being a hitter. Sheffy, that's going to be a kill. The R1, Troy Gravitt, took a good look at where Sheffy touched this ball. This is pretty close to being on Stanford's side. And that's a judgment call. Long Beach State take the side out. Maddie Collins in to serve there. Logan Parks. What a combination play. Firing out of the middle. Lizzie Andrew comes in, and then it looks like a Bick, if you will, but Parks technically starting from the right side in the back row. That not really in the middle. Works out like a Bick. Back row quick, just in the right side of that back row, more like off kilter. And Long Beach State still able to get the side out, and just missing on that serve was Kotsukov. New server for Stanford, Melissa Kawa, 5'6" sophomore from San Pedro. Not far away from here. Left-handed, and Stanford with Ipar Kurt. It's popped up. Over on to Maddie Maxwell. Kill number 4 for her. This is what Long Beach State may look to do with Maxwell throughout the year. Have her be aggressive when she's in the front row. And that was an effective fake of a set. Just go over with 2 hands. Here's Milani Lee to serve. Over on 2 goes Taylor Yu, and that works. Yu was the backup setter last year for Stanford. She was able to come in and contribute, though, serving-wise, at 28 service aces throughout last season. Now being called upon to be one of the main setters. Remember, Stanford had Cami Minor, one of the great players across the country. Now they move on to what could be a 2-setter situation, what could be a 5-1. And it's something that Coach Hambley is very excited to work with throughout this season, as Elisa Gee recording another kill. 12 kills for a Gee. Off the net, was there a touch on Long Beach State side? There was not. It's a pretty big natural point for Maddie Maxwell and the Beach, as Maxwell goes back to serve again. Remember, they need this 4th set to extend the match to 5. Outside it goes to Kurt. Off the block. Opportunity for Long Beach State. King trying to wipe it off the block. Recycle Agee. Through and down. The Beach cut it to within 2, and Stanford takes a timeout. No matter what, we have seen the fight and what many programs in this athletics department call the grit in this Long Beach State women's volleyball team in just night 1. Coach Natalie Regan has said their team slogan this year is all in, ball out. And Coach Regan has said that it's so important to have this team ready to hit the ground running to face this tough early schedule. They are well aware of how tough it is. They welcome the toughness. Not to say that the conference schedule isn't tough. That's the whole reason to prepare in the non-conference portion, because they know they have a lot to fight for in the conference portion of the season to try and get into the Big West Conference Championships, the tournament at the end of the year, and to try and win it, as Long Beach State will host the Big West Championships this season inside the Walter Pyramid. Something that they'll look to try and have a great atmosphere going, enough for them to rise to the top of the Big West Conference again. Maddie Maxwell to serve out of the timeout. Oh, just off the top of the tape and back onto the beach side. One of those where it could have been an ace or an error. Tough for whatever side it lands on. As Anna Pringle comes in to serve now for Stanford. She's been in as a defensive specialist throughout the night. Logan King firing away. Good dig. Initial touch. Thomas keeps it alive. And that's a block and a roof for Stanford. The blocking defense has just improved for the Cardinal throughout this match, and is probably the biggest improvement for them, other than getting those service aces, although that kind of takes both sides to kind of have those aces rack up, right? You got to have good serves, but also have the other side not be able to pass. But the blocks seem to be just the Stanford Cardinal being able to read, react, and close very effectively. Really from the second set on. The first set, they weren't able to record a team block. And Long Beach State had 3. Since then, Stanford has been able to record 9, and Long Beach State has recorded 4. Stanford has hit 21st in this 4th set. 4-point lead over Long Beach State. Remember, both of these teams will face Oregon State in this LBSU tournament to start the year. Stanford will face Oregon State tomorrow. Long Beach State will face Oregon State on Sunday. That Oregon State match will be broadcasted on ESPN Plus at 4 p.m. Right side, it's a Gee. That's a kill for Elisa Gee, number 14 on the evening. She was second team All Big West a couple of years ago. In the middle, and that's another kill for Erica Sayer. Stanford looking to close this match out. Spencer Etzler, who has had a great night as the libero for them. Another dig there for Etzler. Rubin gets dug up. Rubin again. Tip this time, popped up. King trying to wipe it off the block, and it goes back down on the beach side. Final timeout is being called by Natalie Regan. In a night where Long Beach State has been able to stun Stanford in a set, Stanford has been able to recover and really handle the next three. So far, at least in this fourth set, they've been able to handle it. Long Beach State has shown that they can get on runs as well. See the kill column pretty even, and that's kind of been part of it tonight. Long Beach State dominated offensively so much in that first set that even though Stanford has done better in each of the next three, the hitting percentages and the kill count are still pretty even, the match as a whole. For this fourth set alone, Stanford hitting 379, Long Beach State hitting 290. Natalie Regan, in the first match of her second season at the helm of Long Beach State. Seeing this fresh-faced team go out and really compete in this matchup. Etzler to serve again. Into the net. The timeout works for Long Beach State. Anna Jelinek goes back to serve. Into the block. Strong one. Rubin gets another shot at it, but unable to get it over the net. That works out like a roof for Long Beach State. One of the takeaways in this first match is that Long Beach State's block probably looking as strong as it was last year. Even with some fresh faces in the front row. Otsukov gets dug up, put back over, kept in play. Put over on two by Maxwell. Play goes on. Kotsukov dug up by Etzler. And Logan Parks works it off the block. We've just seen some solid rallies throughout the night, though. Solid and strong, especially for it being so early in the season. Maddie Collins will come back in to serve for Long Beach State, following the service error. The Beach down by 3 here in the fourth set. Absolutely need to win this one to keep the match going. Backslide, that's been working so well for Stanford. So tough to defend. Lizzie Andrew. 8th kill of the match. And it is match point for the Cardinal. Elia Rubin didn't start the match, but sure did make a difference. Tip into the block and a roof to end it. Stanford takes this one in 4. 18-25, 25-19, 25-16, and 25-20. They will improve their overall record to 2-1. Long Beach State dropped in their first match of the year, 0-1 overall. But boy, this was an entertaining one to start the year. This is a great sign of things to come. Just great to watch some women's volleyball again. And the first broadcast from the Walter Pyramid here in 2025 for women's volleyball. An exciting season is ahead. So for a great ESPN Plus crew, I'm Matt Brown saying so long from Long Beach. Thanks for watching Long Beach State women's volleyball. Tune in Sunday afternoon when Long Beach State faces and hosts Oregon State at 4 p.m. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. This a great start to the year for Long Beach State as they will look to face more stiff competition and great non-conference competition upcoming this weekend. We'll see you next time on Sunday afternoon. But now, good night, everybody.